Hello friends, welcome to Tech Media, and in today's lesson we are going to learn about database function. What database function is all about. Database function like the sum if, the count if, and the average if allows you to sum, count, or average cells in a range so that it meets your criteria. For example, now we have our division here, our category here, and we also have our total expense here. So for example, we want to know our total bill. How will we get our total bill? And we want to get to our total expense. How will we get? We are going to see it within a short while. And also we are going to see how we can get the average expense. All this we will be using these the count, the sum if, the count if, and the average if, which allows you to sum, count, and average your work. For example, let's say we want to see the total bill invoice for the category of software, and here we have these categories. You can see we have different technical category: support, telephone, and all the way down our data. And this category is for software. Now we will see the total bill, how many bill invoice, how many for example software we have in this category. For example, you can see one software here and another one here. If I go down, you can see others down there. That could be tiresome counting it manually. We will use the count if built function in Excel. We will start with an equal sign, count if. Bear in mind that we have count if and count ifs. If we are going to look for only one category, like here we have only software and not two categories. Like for example, if we had division and category, we will have used count ifs. But here now we have only one category, which is the software. This category, we only have this category. We don't have two categories, so we will use count if, the first one, just like that. And you can just open your function argument, and here we will have the criteria. Which criteria do you want to count the total bill? We want to count this software, which is in F5. Criteria is F5. Bear in mind that criteria is in F5, which is the category. The range. Now, which is the range? Now, this category range, you can see now here is how we want to calculate. For example, you can see Control Shift plus the arrow down to the arrow down. It is C5 to C62. You can see yes. The criteria is F5, which is the category of software, and the range is this category now. How many bills do we have? The total bills it will show us if we click on OK. Now it says we have the 4 bills. You can see even if you calculate how many softwares you have, it will be 4 of the software. That is how now we got the total bill for the category of software. Now we want to get the total expense. How much expense? The total expense for each software. How much was it? We will start with the sum, equal and equal sign, sum if, and also here we have the sum if and the sum ifs. So if we had the two of the categories, now we will have used sum ifs, but now that we have only one, we will use sum if. The sum if, feel free to open the function argument. It will start with the you can start with the criteria, how the total expense for which category we have. This is the software, which is an F5. The range, you can range, which range it is, this now category range here. We will count Control plus Shift plus the arrow down, which is C5 to C62. Now it will also ask you the sum range. The sum range is the total expense. Will start clicking for the start, which is D5, and the rest you can just click on Control Shift plus the arrow downward. It is D5 to D62. Yes, the criteria is F5, which is the software criteria, and the range is this category. which is C5 to C62, and the sum is this total expense, which is D5 to D62, and you will just click on OK, and you will get the total expense, which is $17,215. And you can also get the average expense. The average expense you can get by dividing this total expense by the total bills, which is the 17,215 divided by the four invoice by the four total bill invoice. That's how you can get the average, but Excel will do it for you. Just click on equal sign average if, and also here you have the average ifs and the average if. You will just use the average if, since we are only using one category. What are we going to average it? You can just open the function argument. The criteria is the software, still the software, which is the F5. The range is just the same as the total expense of how we got. I just click on this is the C5, and just the rest you can just click on Control Shift plus the arrow downward to highlight it for you. And the average range is just the total expense. Just click on there, Control Shift plus the arrow down, just click on it, will just all highlight for you D5 to D62. Just same as the total, how we got the total expense, but now we will just remove the sum if with the average if to get the average. Click on OK, and now you can get the average, which is the $4,303.75. If you divide manually 17,215 divided by the four invoices, this is the total, this is the average you will get. And here is now how we got use the all the functions, which is the count if, the sum if, and the average if. For example, here if we say we want to get overhead, for example, the overhead, and click on OK, you'll see it will change for invoice. The total expense 14,825. The average, you can see the 3,706. For example, the rent, now you change to rent. For example, the rent, you can see it has changed now, 71,160. The total invoice is for 17,750. Copying, for example, copying, you want to see how much all of it copying. For copying still you can see it has changed, so it will help you in getting all of it instead of going one by one and clicking on how much expense it will be. It will make you save a lot of time. For example, here we can use one of the functions now we taught ourselves in our Excel intermediate, which was data validation. If you can remember, you can use it here. For example, since if you just mess up with spelling mistake, if you do any spelling mistake, for example, if you want to I want to say supplies, and I just miss one, for example, if I miss and I write es, I miss I, you can see now it will just say you can see now it will mess up with all my total bill and total expense. You can see it needs the exact spelling which is in here. For example, to do away with this, we can use data validation, which we taught ourselves in in Excel intermediate. You can just get to data, and here under that data tool command group, we have this data validation. Here it says any value. You can just click on list. You can see the source. For example, here you can just click on the source, which will be just highlight all of it up to there, up to 23. You can see it says C5 to C23. Just click on OK. Now here we will have the list. You can see now it will just tell us to get. You can see, for example, if I need copying, I can just write just get it like that. And if I need maintenance, you can see if I want to get the tail marketing, you can see I can just get like that. If I want to get the malicious, you can see I can get just like that. If I want to get the telephone, very easy to set it as a data validation. It will help you in improving your search so that you cannot mess up with any spelling mistake. That is how now the data function works. And here now the goal seek. We have this goal seek now. The goal seek now is an amazing feature, and what it does is it finds the input needed in one cell to arrive at the desired output in another cell. So let's say, for example, I'm trying to find what my price estimate will be. You can see now here we have the price estimate. For example, I want to estimate my price. I have my info, which is the price, the unit sold information, the price, the unit sold, and the total. But the goal is to sell 12,000 units. For example, I want to sell 12. I have 12,000 units of shoes, and I want to sell it. But I want to make profit of $250,000 dollars. $250,000. What will be the price estimate? For example, what will be my price for each unit now? You can see now you can just you can get the price estimate and the price for the price if you have the goal, which is the total. Now you want to get, for example, I want to get the total. I said $250,000 dollars. I will divide $250,000 divide by 12. You can see that will be you can do the math, but Excel now will make the math for you. And in here data, we have the forecast, the command group of forecast. Inside the command group of forecast, we have this what if analysis, which says try out various values for the formulas in your sheet using scenario manager, goal seek, and data tables. If we click on, it has the scenario manager, which creates different groups, and we have the goal seek. It finds the right input for the value, and we have the data table. What we are interested with is the goal seek. You can see we have the goal seek. For example, the set cell is C7. The estimate the total now you want to get the it says to value. What I want to get total, the total I say the total sales I want to make is 250,000. That's what I want to the total sale I want to make. But the changing by changing cell is this one now, which is the C5. If I click on OK, it will do the math for me and try to get me the each price I want to sell the pair of shoes to make the 250,000 for 12,000 pairs of shoes. You can see it says for me that if I price each pair of shoes $20.83 and I sell this unit, I will make the desired my goal money. You can see which was 250,000. If you do the math, 250,000 divided by 12,000 units of shoes which will be sold, it will give me the $20.83, which will be the price of each and each pair. That's now how easy it will be. For example, now I will click on OK. I want to say I want to change my I want to change this one to value. I want to make 500 or 50,000 dollars by changing this one. How much will I make? You can see if I want to get the total value of 50,000 and I want to sell these 12,000 units, each pair of shoes I will be selling for $4.17. That's how now we can use the price estimate. And now here we have the unit estimate. For example, I want to make I have the desired maybe the goal money to make, which is 50,000 or 250,000. Let's say, for example, I want to make, let me say cancel. Yes. And the goal seek, you can see now the set cell will be H7. What do I want to make? I want to make maybe 250,000 by changing what? By changing this price. It says I want how the units now I will be selling to make 250,000 is 4,167 each, $59.99. You can see this is the unit now I'll be selling. I need to sell to make this money, and the price of each pair will be 59.99. Is it not easy? Very easy. I will repeat. The goal seek is H7. The price, for example, is I said it is 250,000. And by changing what? By changing these units, which is click on H6 and click on OK. 4,167 units to be sold, each 59.99 to make $250,000. That is now how the power of Excel. If you know the power of Excel, you will not take much time to do this math. And we go to the end of our lesson for today. We have seen how database functions, the if, the sum if, the total if, and the average if, and the goal seek, how you can estimate the price, and also how you can estimate units. See you next time. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.